Hi there, Jesse Schul here from jesseschul.com. It's Friday, April 17th, and we've been in lockdown for over a month with fears of the coronavirus, COVID-19. There's some good news on the horizon though. They're starting to talk about bringing back sports. However, there has been some pushback from people like Eric Garcetti, the mayor of LA, and Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. They've both said that they don't want to see professional sporting events in the state of California for the next year and or until they have a vaccine. So I'm a little bit frustrated by the negativity and people pushing back to restarting sports and getting back to work. And so I wanted to put out a video with a few of my predictions. And it's important to realize this is not my opinion. I'm not a doctor, I'm not an epidemiologist, so my opinions about the coronavirus are utterly worthless. You could write down my opinions on toilet paper and wipe your ass with them. The thing about opinions is people may not agree with my opinions, and if they don't agree with my opinions, they're never going to agree with my opinions. The thing about predictions is they're pretty black and white. You make predictions and they either come true or they don't. And I happen to be in the business of making predictions. That's what I do. And a lot of the things I do to make predictions on sports and the stock market and politics, I can apply those same things to making predictions about what we're going to see moving forward with the coronavirus, and particularly how it relates to sports. So as far as Eric Garcetti goes and Gavin Newsom, I think they're going to have to change their stance. And I'll get to my predictions here. The first prediction is, I'm predicting that it will be considered fact, commonly accepted fact, that the fatality rate for the coronavirus COVID-19 is less than 1% when you factor in all the asymptomatic cases and all the people who have had it. And I will go a step further, saying that for people that are under the age of 60 and have no serious health conditions, the fatality rate for COVID-19 is actually comparable to the seasonal flu. And this is actually quite important because if we do not treat COVID-19 the way we treat other illnesses like the seasonal flu, we might never see sports come back the way we're used to. How can we ever see fans in stadiums again until we treat COVID-19 as we would treat the seasonal flu? My second prediction is going to be that when sports resume, we are going to see people test positive, players test positive for COVID-19, and we're going to see them placed on the injury report as they would be if they had the seasonal flu. And this is, again, is very important. We still see people getting the flu 100 years after the Spanish flu outbreak. No epidemiologist can say with any certainty that we will be able to eradicate COVID-19 forever, regardless of whether we get a vaccine. We may or may not get a vaccine, it may or may not work. How long it will be effective for, we do not know. And if every time a player tests positive for COVID-19, we have to quarantine the entire team, the coaches, and treat it as if it's the bubonic plague, we will not see sports. We're going to have to change our attitude before we can actually see sports as we saw them prior to this pandemic. That's my opinion, that's my prediction. Next prediction, I'm going to say that we will see less than 5,000 deaths in the USA in the month of June. I'm going to follow that up with less than 1,000 total deaths related to COVID-19 in the month of July. And of course, I'm basing this on a bell curve, up, coming back down. And I believe we're right around the peak. And of course, June is almost 6 weeks away. July, obviously 10 weeks away. Long time, I think the numbers decline steeply, and we will get down to numbers as I mentioned. The other prediction, which I've sort of already alluded to already, is I think it's quite possible that COVID-19 will never be eradicated in our lifetime. And that is why I believe in order to resume to normal, we're going to have to decide to treat COVID-19 differently than we're currently treating it. My final prediction is that I'm going to predict we will see professional sports with fans at some point before the end of 2020, And again, that goes back to the same principle that if we don't start treating COVID-19 less serious than we treat it now, we're never going to get back to normal, or potentially never get back to normal, because it may never be eradicated. Now, yeah, take it for whatever you want to take it. If you disagree with my predictions, absolutely feel free to call me names, tell me how stupid you think I am, because if any of them or all of them turn out to be somewhat accurate, it just makes me look better in the end. Thank you, good night, and we'll keep in touch.